What's going on, everybody? This is Raw Dog Sports. I am Mike. That is Evo. I forgot what I was going to say, so I'm not going to do it. I had it, and then I started to jump in halfway.
I don't have a movie quote. Wait, it just came into my head. Start the show.
Start the show. Go. No, yeah. See,
piss.
Sometimes when you're doing it live, you lose it. It happens. But that's what we're doing, folks. We're doing it live.
We're keeping it raw.
Keeping it raw, per the usual. Man. I'm just going to do it now. Baby, I'm going to butter your bread. Bend over, touch your toes. I'm going to show you where the wild goose goes. Boom.
We are a sports podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, we are.
Not just two fat, dumb idiots talking about random shit. This is Raw Dog Sports. Thank you for tuning in if you're here. And if you just saw that, that is what makes this program beautiful.
Stupid sometimes, but so fun.
Yeah. We are degenerate veterans. It's awesome. And we like to talk about sports and other random stuff. Mike, how are you doing on this fine Tuesday evening?
Oh, man, I am good. It's been a long, long day. I was at school. I should be seeing a rough cut of my documentary, or of the part of the documentary I've shot. So it's been busy. Been a long, long day. Been breaking down these guys that we're going to talk about, because we're talking safeties. We're talking tight ends today. We also got a couple other things to talk about before we get into that. We got some official news. It ain't good. Maybe some things that will come out of this will be good. Tigers back in the news. I can assure you it's not good. Like, it feels like there's been a lot of not good coming recently, and I would love to get a nice turnaround. Oh, wait. Baseball season has started. And my Cleveland Guardians are good as fuck. Chase DeLauter is Babe Ruth reincarnate, and the Guardians are going to win the World Series. So that's been great. Thank you for helping
Clip
me
it.
the show.
We got 160 some odd fucking game. Clip it. They're going to be dog shit by the end.
I got it. Well, listen, we were supposed to be terrible last year.
I honestly don't know. I don't know, because I don't follow baseball anymore, because fuck the Twins, sell the franchise. Fuck the Twins, sell the team. Fuck the Twins, sell the team. Baseball sucks cock, sell the team.
I keep seeing your posts every time that the Twins are brought up, and that is very much the echoed sentiment is fuck the Twins, fuck the teams until they are sold. And I understand it. I really do. Like, they don't try to improve the team. Granted, they spend a little bit more money than my team typically does. However, my team is really good at scouting and developing talent. You guys don't really develop a whole lot of talent.
That used to be our MO. That used to be what the team was about. They used to be competitive. They used to develop guys, and they used to not keep their guys around because they're cheap bastards. And so they let everyone go to the Yankees or the Red Sox, to places that would pay them like they should be paid as pretty good professional baseball players. And then I assume no one wants to be part of a shit organization like that, and so they leave. Like, and not just the players, like everyone else involved with the team. So you're working for the Polads, who are a bunch of cheap bastards who decided, oh, we could sell the team. Nah, let's just fuck everyone over. We'll sell some minority stake in it to act like we did something. They spend a little bit more money now because there's so much backlash about them not keeping players, except for the fucking team sucks cock. And you're not going to stop sucking cock overnight just by spending a little bit more money. So fuck the Twins. Fuck the team. Sell the franchise, Polads, you pieces of shit. Trade Byron Buxton. Get him out of there so that way he can go play for a decent team. I love Buxton. Let him free.
You're ready to let it go already, huh?
Yeah, at this point. Like, I fuck the Twins.
I love
let all of our good players,
it.
let all the good players fucking go so they can actually be a part of franchises that give a shit. Until they want to get serious and sell the team to a real fucking ownership group.
I appreciate what you are saying as a Guardians fan. I think that you guys could have won the division the last couple of years had you guys done anything to try to improve the team throughout the season. I appreciate that you didn't, and the Tigers epically collapsed. This is going to be a tougher road this year for my Guardians, I think, because I mean the Tigers are going to be really fucking good. They should be really good. But if we get this young talent to work out for us, Travis Bazzana's still waiting in the wings. Like, I'm very, very excited about the Guardians. So that is like the one positive. Outside of that, we got fucking Iran, no refs in the NFL, Tiger flipping cars. What the fuck else was there? There was another thing that was bad, I'm pretty sure, very recently.
PFF.
Evo. Fucking tell everybody what is happening with PFF, because it is potentially awful for people like you and me who are just kind of getting into a more in-depth, nuanced part of this game. I love PFF. PFF is something that we use a shitload of. I've been using it constantly over the last few weeks for mock drafts. Tell us what's going on with PFF, brother.
Yeah, PFF several years ago, I believe like 2019 timeframe, was sold from like the initial founder to Chris Collinsworth. Yes, that Chris Collinsworth. And the platform is not just what you see on our show or what you as a consumer can go online and look at. There's a lot of data analytics, things like that go into PFF. And we only get to see a small segment of it on the consumer side of things, like the mock draft simulator that we use, all the information about current NFL players year in, year out, where they rank, how they do versus the run, the pass, all that sort of stuff. That's all coming from data analysts and people who are grinding film and putting grades and scores and things. And we don't always agree with them, but it's a nice piece to the puzzle to have when you are a fan that's trying to get in depth on these sorts of things. But like I said, there's a huge data component, data analyst component that goes into that. That part of the company was sold to an AI platform called Teamworks that does sports AI analysis. Chris Collinsworth sold, I believe, for roughly $100 million, the enterprise part of PFF that we as fans don't have access to. NFL teams, I believe all Division I colleges utilize it. 99% of like professional soccer uses it. Like shitloads of sports use it. They're in pretty much every single major sport. We utilize them primarily for football. NBA to like 80-some%, MLB like 80-some%. They're heavily used on their analytic data side that we don't get to see. But that all just got sold off of Teamworks. The problem is that Chris Collinsworth stays on as kind of a person to give insight and whatnot with that side, but he also retains full control of the consumer side, which is what we use as fans. Doesn't sound like anything too crazy, right? Except for yesterday, they fired pretty much everybody. Like they fired everybody that is currently still at the company that is a major role player in what we, the consumer, gets to see. The people who update all the information for the big draft board, the mock draft database, the mock draft simulator. Trevor Sikkema is one of the names that I know that sticks out to me because I watch his YouTube podcast programs all the time. All of those analysts who do the podcasts, do the YouTube channels, for the most part, have all been fired. They had massive layoffs yesterday. And this points to the consumer side could very well, at a minimum, be taking a huge dip in their credibility, in the relevance of the information that they put out. But on the large scale, this could mean the death of PFF on the consumer side, which would be terrible because PFF has been one of the largest bridges out there for fans who want to get more in-depth knowledge on the game. They don't want to be just the dude or the gal who's sitting back watching football on the screen. They want to know a little bit more about their team, the players, the free agents that'll be out there the next year, things like that. They want to be more involved and more smart when it comes to the game of football. And that very well could go away. At a minimum, I would be willing to bet money that is going to take a pretty steep nosedive in its quality going forward. What this really means, we don't know because it's all currently shaking out. Again, you go on X and you will see tons of people from PFF right now saying, yes, I was one of the layoffs. Yes, I was one of the layoffs. A lot of former PFF employees who ended up leaving around that 2019 timeframe because after that initial sale, there started to be clashes with management and things like that. They started to become much more worried about the bottom line on certain things and less of let's put out a fantastic product for the people. A lot of people left. And so those people who have left have anecdotes and stories about their time with PFF and things. And speaking about the company and why it's going the way that it's going, and also working actively to try to get these people jobs, because there's tons of fantastic people at PFF who are grinding, putting their life, blood, sweat, and tears into the consumer product that we regularly use that are now out there without work. And I can guarantee you those guys are going to get work pretty damn quick. My hope would be, and if I had a blank check, I would start up a new PFF.
Mark Cuban. Hey, bro, I know you're sad that you sold the Mavericks. Do something really cool right here for the people.
You have a fantastic workforce that just became available to you that could all come on board. You bring in a whole new set of data analysts and things like that for the back end and software production people who are able to create a platform, because as good as PFF has been at things, it's very easy to see where they could get better. And that's probably because so much of their focus has been on that data analytics side rather than the consumer product. If you shift it more towards a consumer product and a better user experience, the mock draft simulator is great. It could be a lot better. And we saw that with things that have come out this year, AI-based programs that will allow you to simulate trades and full off seasons and stuff like that. There's things out there that are creeping on the PFF product already, showing that it can be better, except for now you've got a shitload of really good professionals who that is what they do available. And you could very quickly stand up a company that is able to fill this space and put out the best fucking possible platform to replace PFF on the consumer side. And so again, if I had a blank check and like you said, Mark Cuban or whoever, I don't really care. Do it for the people, do it for the sports, do it for those guys who were working there at PFF. PFF has had its failures, and this is one of their, if not their biggest failure, I think, is laying all these people off and not leaning into focusing on that consumer side. And it's an area where you could absolutely just completely take over that market. I pay for PFF. People will pay for this product that you have out there, and you can make it better. You probably charge a little bit more for a better product. Like, it's not like there's not money to be made with it. So really sad to see PFF kind of go down like that. And again, it's still out there right now. We're going to be using its platform today when we go over the safeties and tight ends position groups for this upcoming draft class. But a pretty dramatic turn of events here with this platform, and it sucks for the fans out there who are or podcasters like us. It sucks because we're losing one of the best resources out there.
Yeah, for sure, man. We actually got some comments rolling in here. Spicy Mike, what's up, brother? Thanks for hopping in here. They should have never started charging for their simulator. So I think you have to make money at some point doing something. But obviously, they just sold it for a fuckload of money. But part of it, not paying for the simulator. Like I think there was always a free version, anyways, right?
There still is a free
rounds.
version. Yeah, it's not a full 7-round simulator. You don't get all the same information about players and prospects as you would otherwise. That being said, I don't disagree with Mike. However, there's obviously ways to monetize without having it go to the end user like us. PFF has tons of podcasts out there on YouTube that are monetized, that make money, that have sponsors. You are able to put sponsorships on your website as long as they're not crazy fucking pop-ups and stuff like that and don't derail the user experience, where they can still make money. But I'm not even there. Like, I'm okay with it being a pay-for product because I get a lot of utility out of it. It is worth the money to me, especially because I'm a veteran and I get a little bit cheaper. They have those options. They have options for if you are in school, you can get a little bit cheaper. They make it easier. So it's a rough spot.
Yeah, well, listen, apparently they've been moving down from the top mock draft to third. So listen, you already brought it up. There are plenty of companies that are already starting to get into this space with AI, and now they have got a fucking pool of talent to pick from. And all of those guys are going to be very willing, I'm sure, to go and compete against PFF after this very unceremonious letting go of basically the entire staff.
Yeah. Look, like I said, we're going to be continuing to use PFF at least for today. 2 programs out there that I would suggest to people. Stick to the model. All right. Just Google stick to the model. It's AI based. It is a full off-season simulator for your team. From free agency, which is currently happening, to re-signing players, releasing players, managing your cap for your team. You have other teams reach out to you, AI, trying to do trades with you, trading players, trading picks in the draft. Their draft database is fantastic as well because it pulls from multiple different sources to include PFF and their data. It is constantly being updated by the programmer. Also, A to Z Sports is going to be having their own mock draft simulator come out here, I believe, by the end of the week. They weren't tracking the PFF stuff, but theirs is actually really similar to that stick to the model program, which is a lot of fun. I catch myself doing it like at least once a night, probably at this point, where I'll be sitting in bed with, wife will be watching some British fucking stupid show where they're baking cakes and killing each other or something like that. And I'm like, I'm gonna run a little mock off season for myself. It's fun stuff. I would suggest for anyone watching, go check those out because they are about to probably start to take over a little bit where PFF now is dropped the ball completely.
Yeah, for sure. We got another guy hopping in here again. Yes, that is right. This is the Divorced Dads podcast, and I'm doing good, man. I'm tired. I'm ready. I am so close to graduating. I'm like fucking 5 weeks away from graduating. I don't get to walk though. I found that out the other day. Opening day of all 3 of our children's baseball season happens to be on the exact same day, and I coach that one of those teams, so we will not be walking at graduation. But I think, if I'm being honest, I'd rather be at the baseball fields.
Yeah, a little overrated.
Yeah, for sure. And then, yeah, agreed. Chase DeLauter is him, without a doubt. He's gonna rake. I've been clamoring for this kid since last year. So pumped. Let's go, guards. Eva, let's get off of baseball and start talking about some other things, and let's get into a little bit more, I guess not a nuanced topic here. And Tiger Woods. Tiger is massive megastar, the greatest golfer of our generation.
Really, really good driver on the golf course, not off the golf course, apparently.
Correct. Yeah. So Tiger has been in another car accident, and sadly, I will say, it involved substances again. Tiger has a problem. Tiger is stepping away from golf to go and see treatment, rehab, whatever it's going to be. Tiger is part of that generation of people in America that had to get surgery a couple times in the late 90s, early 2000s. handed a handful of pills and said, "Don't worry, these will help." And that's where we're at now. I feel for Tiger. I feel for his family. I hope he gets well. But golf's done. Like, this is probably the end of Tiger trying to compete at a high level and contend with Jack's all-time major record. Like, this has become something now where you no longer care about the golf. You care about the person, making sure that he gets up.
Yeah, like, obviously one of the greatest golfers ever, if not the. Definitely the greatest, I think, of our lifetime. And the reality is that it's fun to root for him to go out there and still try to compete at these, later years in his career. But it's been rare that he's truly been competitive in that time, despite competing. And at this point, it's about just taking care of himself. He needs to get right. There's been multiple points in his life and professional career that have kind of come and smacked him in the face and said, "Hey, get things right." And hopefully they've been would have been wake up calls, and they really haven't been. Like, it sounds like he almost lost his leg in his last car accident before this most recent one. That should have been one of those gigantic wake up calls, and it wasn't. And so with this and him actually putting the statement out just in the last 2 hours that he's stepping away to take care of himself, seek rehab and things like that, that's a good sign. In addition to that, I would hope that he, with the oodles and oodles and oodles of money that he has, just gets a driver. Fucking get your Maybach or your Bentley and just get a driver to take you and Charlie around to his tournaments, because Charlie's the next thing, right? Like, that's the sure. Woods legacy now, and he should be pouring into that. I think that would be an extremely positive avenue for him, pour into your kids. Obviously, Tiger was great, and work on helping to make Charlie one of the greats as well. So hopefully Tiger gets right. Just don't get behind the wheel again. Like, not worth it.
Ever. Don't just stop fucking driving, Tiger. Evo, I'm surprised that nobody has said this. I'm sure somebody has, but we have never said it. But yeah, just get a fucking driver. Don't drive anymore, Tiger. Period. Ever. Just let somebody chauffeur your ass around.
Like, I get it. I like to drive sometimes, for sure.
Sure.
But like, do that in a golf cart.
You could go
drive Charlie around in a dope ass golf cart. And then when it comes to being on the road, that's when you have, Mobley or whoever or something, like your cool driver. Like
Mobley, the young man cub from Jungle Book.
Yeah, something like that. Like, there's better options than to flip your fucking car again. Like, dude. The insurance for that guy has to be insane. Like,
I mean, he's got it. Don't worry about it. Yeah. He's got it. Yeah. But, speaking of, kind of pouring into your kids, I do want to take a second to give a shout out to Greydyn, my son. He had his first track meet of the year today, went out there and won the discus, 118-foot throw, and then second place in the shot. So, fuck yeah, dude. Great job. I did not come anywhere close to winning a tournament or a duel or anything last year. So, great improvement. And he got big as shit. Like, he's 5'10", 220 right now at 13. So, I'm excited to see where he goes. But great job to him.
Very nice. Very nice. I never did track. Thought about it. Didn't end up doing it at all.
Track was recommended for all the football players. So I did track all the time because it was recommended.
Track and wrestling were recommended, especially if you were a lineman wrestling, the more specialist positions, track and stuff like that was recommended. I just stuck to weightlifting. Just lifted. Yeah.
Oh, all right, man. So we've got Tiger down. We talked PFF. I feel like there was one more thing that we had before we were going to get into these prospects, but
there's two more things actually. So the annual league meetings are happening right now. All the NFL head coaches and GMs and owners and stuff like that are currently in Scottsdale, Arizona, enjoying the summer heat up there and talking about rule changes and other ways that they want to make more money. But some interesting stuff is coming out of there. Some rule changes have happened. One rule change of note has to do with this upcoming season and the potential changes to officiating overall. If you aren't tracking right now, the Referees Association is their contract or whatever is up, and they are renegotiating with the NFL. And as of right now, I believe it's May 31st, they have to come to an agreement or they go on strike. Last time that we had that happen, I believe, was 2012, and it was fun. Not great, but very interesting. And it looks like we're kind of heading in that direction right now because the two are at an impasse. Now, when it comes to the rule change that has or involves the officiating, is that if replacement refs are used, the NFL will basically still have kind of a sky judge and can step in when there's mistakes made for that year. They can come in and make rule changes, or not rule changes, but make essentially throw flags that were missed. Certain situations like DK Metcalf last year where he punched a fan, no flag was thrown, so he couldn't be ejected. They're allowed to now make ejections for things that weren't seen or officiated correctly by the refs. They are able to fix egregious mistakes and stuff like that, because last time that we had replacement officials, it was rough. You had Pete Carroll on the sideline signaling touchdown, and the refs kind of looking at him and be like, this guy's a fucking legend. He's probably right. Yeah, touchdown. And it, like random shit like that.
The Fail Mary, I actually had to show producer Amber the Fail Mary the other night to kind of give her the context of why replacement refs are bad. And also, how's the mic sound now? Better?
Yeah. Cool. Until you're quiet again, we'll see. But it all has to do with when you try to use your seductive voice.
When I get on my, hold on, when I get my sexy voice on, how's that?
Yeah, we can hear it. It's better.
All right, sweet. So, all right, I just needed to bring up the gain a little bit. The gain was a little low.
But with that, there is the actual impasse there between the officials and the NFL. Don't quote me on these numbers because I don't have them up. I'm going off the top of my head. But as of right now, the NFL has offered the officials a 6.4% pay raise over previous. The NFL officials are looking for a 10% raise, which isn't anything that I really care about because the NFL is a multi-billion-dollar organization and can afford to pay good people to do a good job, right? Emphasis on a good job, though. I still want them to be full-time employees and have potential punitive actions when they are bad, which is also part of the issue. The officials have kind of come out and said that they don't want any sort of punitive ramifications based on the quality of their officiating. One of those being, right now, the NFL selects its officials for the playoffs and the Super Bowl, who do get paid a little bit extra based off of how good they are at their job. And the officials don't want that. They want a seniority-based system that selects the most senior officials to officiate those games, which makes a lot of sense, right? Let's put our oldest, most geriatric people out there rather than the ones who are doing the best job. I for one, am a meritocracy person. That's kind of how it works on NFL teams. You play and you're on a squad based off of merit and how good you are with things. Why wouldn't we want the same from our officials? At the end of the day, as fans, we want the best product on the field. We want the best officiating on the field so that way you don't have to come to Raw Dog Sports and hear us fucking complain every year about missed calls or things that seem fucking shady. Yeah. Let's have the best product on the field, but the refs seem to not be wanting that.
Yeah, so of course they don't want that because why would anybody want to be judged off of how good they actually are at their job?
Yeah, but it's not like, we have these NFL team grades. The owners don't want them out there, right?
Oh, yeah. If we have no accountability, then nobody can get in trouble. Everything's good. If there's zero accountability across the board, all is good. But I just, with all of the fucking problems that they already have inside the officials, right? Like, people are constantly bringing this up. How has the NFL continued to negotiate with these people in good faith? Because what feels like, just a fucking exceptional place to work, you are doing everything in your power to not be held responsible for this incredible opportunity that you are given every fucking weekend. And it drives me fucking crazy. The NFL should cut off ties. We've talked about this in the past. Just create a fucking school for NFL officials. If you want to become an NFL official, that is where you will go to school. You will train to become an official there. It'll be their own fucking training program. You are an in-house employee, and then you will know and understand all the aspects that they want. And then if there are things that you suck at, you will have to pay for them. And I promise you, there will be a million motherfuckers in this country that apply for that job. Why is the NFL still continuing to bargain with these fucking people? I don't get it. It pisses me off to no end. Now, one good thing that may come out of this is that rule change that if there is something fucking egregious that is seen on tape and is shown on the TV version of what's happening, and 45 million people see it, that maybe we should change the call. That's brilliant. That should already be happening. But what it had to take to get to that point is the referees who don't want accountability holding out for a 10% raise on a job that they already do shitty.
I have a couple ideas with this. Some that we've brought up numerous times in the past. Full-time refs. Most of these guys have day jobs as like lawyers and judges and things like that. But I'm pretty sure you can peel them away. I just looked it up to be sure here. The average NFL official makes between $11,000 and $14,000 per game. They equate to roughly $205,000 to $250,000 per season as an official. Now, to the layman, that sounds like a pretty good wage, right? However, these are professionals, and I say that with a little bit of jest, but they're professionals. They are on TV, and they are subjected to a lot of bullshit. Like, they can make a right call, and they are going to get death threats. That's an unfortunate part of our society, but that's the sort of shit that they have to deal with, constantly being berated. Can you imagine trying to go into a Starbucks as one of these guys in a hostile town?
Oh, fuck you, Haulcy! Just fucking matcha up against the head.
Getting tons of shit for it. All right. So I, for one, will say to be an NFL official, that's not enough. I would even be willing to say that the 10% increase isn't enough. Make them full time. You can pay them, the lowest guys, each $1 million a year to do this, but consistent training, a relegation system where you have a pool of officials, and once you start to get bad on your calls, relegation. That drops their pay. They go through more training, more schooling, and then they slowly get worked back into the system to see if there's been corrections to their performance, right? And I don't think that that's that crazy to think that you get graded on your performance and you get paid and used based off your performance. That sounds like a normal workplace type of dynamic.
Well, and listen, and they're a union, right? Like, and I don't want to take shots at unions because I think unions are good, but they're a union, right? How many fucking unions have you ever heard of where they're part-time employees of a union? Maybe I'm not well versed in unions, but I thought most of the time that was like your whole goddamn life.
I have no idea, honestly. I'm not a union person, as I'm not knowledgeable enough on it. At the end of the day, fuck the union. Just make them full-time employees, do the right thing, try to put the best product on the field, pay them appropriately for that, because you pay every single ref $1 million, and that's a fucking drop in the bucket that no one will ever notice, especially with all these TV deals happening. There's ways to fix this, and it seems like they're nickel and diming the motherfucking situation. And the refs probably don't like that because, oh shit, now we are accountable for our actions. Yeah, we'll be getting paid more. The ones who know that they're shitty are the ones that are probably fighting against this. You also notice that you have your guys like Dean Blandinos and things like that who have gone on to TV, right? Because they're getting paid way fucking more and not having to deal with a tenth of the bullshit that you did as an official on the field. These senior officials and stuff like that, the ones, and you can absolutely make arguments about whether or not, you know, Blandino or any of those TV personalities are good. Some of them are actually dog shit. But you're talking about like the people who are considered good in your industry. They're going to leave if they can get paid more to do less or have an easier time, right? That's pretty normal, common workplace shit. So maybe pay the good ones really well to stick around and create a good product. Like it and I know I'm just talking about just throw money at the situation. Well, you have the option to do that because you essentially have infinite money. You are the most premier sports league in the world. Fuck you, soccer in Europe. I know you could argue it, but I'm saying the NFL is pretty fucking massive, and money is no object at this point to them. So, like, just make it happen.
The NFL is the single greatest. I mean, the single greatest league. European soccer is huge, but there are so many different fucking leagues. There are incredible teams, guys that get paid probably the most money of any athlete in the world in soccer. But the biggest fucking lead is okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that would be my one pushback to this being a permanent thing is where is the ultimate oversight? And at the end of the day, it's the court of public opinion at that point, I guess, is your ultimate oversight, but there's no repercussion still from that court. That's the thing is that you really do have to have some sort of true omnipotent controller of the whole situation. And that's where there needs to be a league like head of officials. And I think there probably is already that position. Someone who, again, gets paid very fucking well to assess this stuff. But like we're talking about a talent problem where there shouldn't be a talent problem. The talent's out there. Guaranteed. You just got to pay for it. Like it does scare me that, you know, who's going to be overturning these calls and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, the rule book is relatively black and white. There isn't a ton of subjectivity with it. Sometimes there is, but what's the difference? There is subjectivity with, you know, what's egregious and not enough to have an overturned call and things like that. But I'm sure the first year that they do it this year, which as of right now, it's the only year that they're going to do it. There will be mistakes made. There always is. The implementation never goes smooth and perfect, but it doesn't mean that it can't get there. We're very close to it. It doesn't mean that it can't be a hell of a lot better than what we currently have.
Yeah, I agree. What's going on now is bullshit. I'm ready to just say fuck that whole lot of people and just start over. But I know that's not going to work out because I don't want to see a bunch of Hail Marys.
That's true. And then our last thing before we get into these prospects here, Hard Knocks.
Yeah, speaking of this shady shit.
Yeah, they've selected not their next team for this year, but the next two teams to be featured on Hard Knocks. I made a plea to you essentially as to why I felt like my Vikings were going to be on Hard Knocks this year. We've got this defensive coordinator situation with Brian Flores, where there's been some issues with players, Tua Tagovailoa and stuff like that. He ends up coming back to the team. We have no true GM because they fired Kwesi at an interesting time. And now we got executive vice president of personnel, Rob Brzezinski, running things. You got Kevin O'Connell, who was previous coach of the year, now kind of on the hot seat. JJ McCarthy situation. Kyler Murray's brought in on this, super minimum deal.
I was here for it.
All sorts of great storylines, things that would be really fun to watch as an NFL fan, fun to watch as a Vikings fan, stuff that would scare me as like a Vikings diehard because these hard knock shows never turn out good for the team in the long run. And the 9 memes would fucking probably go through the goddamn roof. And that's scary because I'm tired of that bullshit. But alas, the Vikings are now almost assuredly going to go to the NFC Championship this year because they're not on Hard Knocks. They're not going to have that curse on them. The Seattle Seahawks will be the Hard Knocks team for 2026. But in unusual fashion, the NFL also announced who the 2027 team is. The New England Patriots, our 2 Super Bowl teams.
I have to grab something.
Oh, God. Hopefully it's not a hammer or a firearm. Oh, spin foil hat.
All right, here we go.
Mine's back.
I don't know which way it goes, but listen, all right. How incredibly convenient that the first time that a team has advance notice of a whole goddamn year that they're going to be on Hard Knocks, it's the New England fucking Patriots. Weird how just super convenient Mr. Kraft gets it that, oh no, don't worry, we're not going to spring it on you when you absolutely don't want these motherfuckers in your building. No, we're going to give you plenty of time to prep for all of this because we don't favor the New England Patriots. No, not at all. Tinfoil hat coming off.
It's a decent point. It's a decent point. Yeah, the NFL is doing some weird things with future projectability. Is that a word? Projectability? When it comes to a lot of different things. Obviously, they want to branch out into an international market, right? They just recently announced that I believe the wording is that like they allowed teams to buy or pay for exclusivity rights in certain countries. We've got Argentina, Australia, Austria, Brazil, Canada, China, Colombia, France, Germany, Ghana, Greece, Ireland, Italy, Japan, Mexico, New Zealand, Nigeria, South Korea, Spain, Switzerland, UAE, United Kingdom, and the Green Bay Packers exclusivity rights in North Korea.
I was expecting Iran, but
yeah, well, that's a contentious situation there right now. But all of these teams basically, and you can look on the Facebook page for Raw Dog Sports where you can see the actual infographic from the NFL. It's global marketing partners where they get to kind of lock down a segment and promote their team. And not every team is a part of these areas. So teams are starting to really lock down spots in different countries and continents. And the NFL wants to expand to an 18-game season. And they want to do more international games. So you can start to see where some of these international games are going to happen and what teams are going to be involved there. The NFL just announced that they are no longer going to be doing the doubleheader Monday night games, which is a good thing because we fucking hated that.
Yeah, they're awful.
But we have to look at the ultimate goal, right? Did you see the opener this year? Seattle Seahawks are going to be playing the first game of the year.
I have not seen any of the schedule, but it does not surprise me that the defending Super Bowl champions are playing in the first game as they should.
Yeah. They're playing on a Wednesday.
What? Why are we? Oh, come on, man. Listen, I'm down for football every day of the week, but if you're going to tell me that there's a Wednesday game and then no Thursday game, I'm going to be a little upset.
Well, we have to look future down the line at this. If the NFL wants to start doing an 18-game season, they have to start looking at players and how their bodies hold up, additions of potentially another bye week, overseas games, how that's going to fit in and how they're going to be able to spread these things out. we could do a whole nother show on this. The FCC had some sort of an act in the 1980s that had to do with sports and how they are broadcast on TV. The NFL doesn't play games on Saturdays except for in the end of the year because it would encroach monopolizing on college football.
Correct.
I'm
going through a history of TV class right now. Go ahead. Keep going, brother.
And
you got it right.
It has to do with other sports as well, why they don't play other days of the week. The FCC actually just gave the NFL a warning about this Wednesday game because they're starting to kind of get away from this act or whatever. Again, I'm not super smart on it. But if the NFL has plans to expand to 18 games, the NFL wants to broaden its market and have teams travel more, which involves more time off for the players. Also, they want to expand to an 18-game season. It was really weird that they didn't announce the Super Bowl for, I believe it was 2029, which has been now selected as Las Vegas. They hadn't announced it yet, which was oddly late compared to normal, probably because they're looking at how does our league year look? Is the Super Bowl going to fall on the same weekend? Or are we going to match this up with a certain holiday in February? Are they doing a full realignment? I think a lot of those talks are happening this week right now at these owner meetings. How can we do 18 games? How can we fit an extra buy-in? How can we get these teams to play on different nights of the week where you get NFL every day of the week? How can we work the U.S. government and FCC to make this happen?
So that will never
happen. How can we make more money? I don't know.
No. So listen, they will never allow for college football to be overrun by the NFL. That was put in place for a very, very specific reason. Now, with the nature of college football changing to a more professional style thing, that may go away because it was specifically put in place because these are amateur athletes and you want to highlight. And so that might understand that could change, but that was done very specifically. And it also brings up another point as to why you can love him or hate him. President Trump just recently signed the executive order saying nobody else is playing shit or doing shit when Army and Navy is playing. You are not allowed to play other games or anything when Army and Navy is playing. That is the only fucking game. So this is it is something that has been done in the past. Encroaching on Wednesdays, I think, is stupid. Like, let's just go Friday. Friday makes more sense than a Wednesday to me because if I got to get a Wednesday game and then a Thursday game, then I got a 2-day break.
Part of that act wasn't just for college football. It's for Friday Night Lights football. It's for high school football.
High school football as well. All right.
Yeah. But again, we're talking about an organization that is the biggest sports league in the world. Billions and billions of dollars. They talk to the right people. They can make things happen. All the streamers that they're being a part of, the FCC is also watching and warning them about that. How some of these games aren't showing up when they're on local broadcasts like they should be because they're on streaming platforms and things like that. But the NFL has a lot of money invested in these streaming platforms. I'm just saying, by 2030, I will not be surprised to be seeing a third of our games being played internationally, an 18-game season, a mid-year break for a Pro Bowl game to give an extra bye week to everybody. Throwing all this shit out. If I had my tinfoil hat readily available, it'd be wearing it right now too. I'm just saying, there's a lot of machinations happening at the owners' meeting right now. We're talking about a very, very pivotal year of changes in the NFL, in the landscape, and the season going forward that I think are all the groundwork's really being laid this year.
Yeah. Don't love it. Don't love it at all.
Yeah. Very interesting. And the players, they like getting the extra game check, but also their bodies don't like it.
Listen, if you give these contracts are going to go fucking bananas. You ask for another, you get another game. You think they're going bananas now? Shit.
Well, dude, I didn't realize like our salary cap went over 300 million this year. It was something like 5 years ago. It was like 120 million. The explosive rate of the salary cap, the way that it's going up, we are going to be hitting billion salary caps in the next decade easily. Like with the way things are going right now between sports gambling and all the streamers. It is around the corner where these athletes are going to be getting paid insane amounts of money. Yeah, it's fucking wild, man.
It's a good time to be an athlete. Good time. Abby brings up a good point. I was wondering where all these extra games will be aired or streamed. I like to watch all the games, but it's harder to watch and watch all the games. Yeah, for sure. You think they'll stream extra games on a new streaming service? I would not be surprised. MLB has a model already in place. MLB TV. You can buy your team. You can buy the entire league. The NFL, I'm surprised, has not already done this. The problem is their massive TV contracts that give exclusive rights to CBS and Fox for specific things. Because if you could just buy your team's games, you wouldn't give a fuck what games are on TV. You wouldn't be concerned about flipping on CBS, hoping that the fucking Vikings are on TV for you while you're in Arizona if for some reason you don't have Sunday ticket. That is the perfect model that they should use, but can they do that anytime soon with their current TV contracts? I doubt it. That could be one of those things that realigns.
I just pulled it up. NFL's current major media rights contracts signed in 2021 with partners including CBS, Fox, NBC, ESPN, Amazon, largely run through the 2033 season. So 2032 is considered the primary expiration date, and where things can definitely start to change. Like I said, within the next decade. There we go. This is the thing. NFL, if they make just like the NFL Network or something like that, or a program like MLB has, where they can just stream their game, like you can pick your team or you can pick the entire league and offer at different price points, they can obviously get away with that. However, when you have multi-billion-dollar organizations like Amazon or Fox, who will come in and pay more than what they would net gain from producing all these on a single source site, the NFL looks at that and says, okay, well, we don't care how much it hurts the end user because Amazon has more than just Thursday Night Football. They've got a whole bunch of other stuff, so they can put their pricing tier a lot higher. And the percentage that goes to the NFL from that ends up being higher than the NFL would be getting just from streaming those games on their own native site. So I believe that your normal services like Fox, CBS, ABC, those probably will still happen because the local games, you know, if I'm in Arizona, a Cardinals game is always going to be on TV here. And I think that's going to continue going forward. However, these streamers are going to get more involved and start to nab up more of these games and opportunities like for YouTube TV to televise everything. Those are just going to expand and become a little bit more expensive as we go along. It is tough. I think I own pretty much all the streaming services out there. I don't want to think about how much I pay yearly for all that shit. I'm blessed to be able to do it. There's obviously other illicit ways to get it if you don't want to do that. But it's not going away anytime soon.
No, it's not. Man, all right. Let's get off of this. Let's start talking some NFL prospects, guys that are potentially going to have their dreams realized here within the next month. Talked to friend of the show, Jeremy Green, over the last week. And all signs are pointing to the idea that we are both going to be out there in Pittsburgh for sure for the draft. Still don't have all the details on what's going on with credentials, but things are all pointing in a good direction. So your boys will be out in Pittsburgh for the draft, hopefully getting you guys some good shit out there. I cannot wait. We're going to see a couple of these guys for sure get taken. Night one. You ready to get into it, brother?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go here to PFF while it is still an available platform. We're going to start off with the safety position here. And the first name that you see up there is Caleb Downs. one of the guys I consider to be one of the few true blue chip prospects in this draft at safety. Safety is a devalued position to an extent. However, Caleb Downs is one of the best prospects that we've seen come out in recent memory. Kyle Hamilton also comes to mind. He gets referenced a lot when we talk about Caleb Downs or when Caleb Downs is talked about out in public. Fantastic player. Obviously, you have a lot of insight on him, being that he's an Ohio State guy, at least there for his last year. But a true blue do-it-all safety. Like, it is tough to nitpick with him. The one nitpick that people have is some reports about a potential degenerative knee issue. But again, I think we are nitpicking here because he is one of the cleanest prospects, a true blue chipper that we've seen in quite a while.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like, I'll get into my write-up in a second, but just watching him as a fan of Ohio State, you wouldn't necessarily hear his name all the time, but he was always making plays. Like, teams would try to stay away from wherever the fuck Caleb Downs was at. What fucking seldomly targeted. And he was still around the, like, he was just so good, man. He's so fucking smart. I don't know how Ohio State's going to replace him in the back end. I don't know that you can replace him. He is, like you said, a do-everything guy. So getting into my write-up here, incredibly smart football player that is always around the ball, even though teams tried to avoid him. He can play anywhere on the defense, but is best as a box safety or a big nickel. He was incredible in zone coverage and really good in man. He's good in the run game and a thumper. There's been talk about his knee and if it will be an ongoing issue going forward. I hope he is fine and everything works out because this kid is awesome to watch, and I can't wait to see what he does on Sundays. That's the only thing it is, man. It's the question of the knee. But you talk to everybody who has looked at Caleb Downs. Nobody finds a hole in his game. He can play deep. He can play in the box. He can go out to the fucking slot. Like, he does it all in the back end. He's incredible, man. Would you like to see more ball skills? Sure. But teams aren't fucking throwing in his direction. So, I love Caleb Downs, man.
Yeah. Like, it's him and Jeremiah Lover, my top two guys in this entire class. Both guys who are considered to be at devalued positions. But when you're talking about potential generational type talent for both those guys, it's tough to look at them and see that either of them making it out of the top 10. Fantastic football player there in Caleb Downs. Next guy up here, Dillon Thieneman, someone who was seen as maybe a second rounder kind of grade early in the process, and then just absolutely skyrocketed after a monumental combine. A guy who I really like, but I feel like maybe some of the hype has gotten a little aggressive with him because originally, like I said, second round, then he started working his way into the first round, and now he's top 18, top 15 pick type player. I think there's some issues with his game, if I nitpick a little bit. I don't think he's as fluid in the hips as he could be. When I watched the film on him originally, when I was seeing him more in the second round, right around where my Vikings were picking, and I was scouting the skin color as a Harrison Smith replacement, I liked Thieneman. And then when he started getting into the first round, I was like, man, this is a little bit rich for my blood. And then the combine, I was like, I don't know. This guy's fucking pretty good. But then I had to go back to like what I was seeing in the film. I like him. I think he's a good prospect. I don't know that I truly view him as a first round or as high of a first round pick as he's being taken in many mock drafts now. Later first round pick, just because this year's draft doesn't have too many guys who have like first round grades for me. Means that a second round player with a lot of upside like a Dillon Thieneman absolutely could find his way into the first round. But with as high as he's going, I think it's a little bit scary as far as potential overdraft on him. But a player that I still nonetheless really do enjoy. Did a lot of good things at Purdue. Ended up playing a little bit out of position his second year at Purdue, and then went to Oregon and kind of played lights out again.
Yeah. So this kid's, it's very funny. You're going to enjoy this write-up. Blew up the combine and made himself a shitload of money in doing so. I know Evo is ready to compare him to his boy Harrison Smith, and it would be hard to argue. He has played a lot of deep safety, but this year he moved closer to the line. I think his combine numbers show he has the athleticism to play either, and his 8 picks show that he has some ball skills. Though 6 of those did come in his freshman year. I think I'd like to see him go back to that deep safety position in the NFL, but he has the versatility to play either, and it will suit his new team well. I would like to see him be a more consistent tackler, but that's my one knock.
Yeah. That he's right now the most commonly mocked player to my Vikings in the first round at pick 18. There's a lot of mocks that have him going higher, but when you're looking at the overall encompassing mock drafts out there, he's the most commonly mocked guy. I like him. I don't know that I see as good of a fit in the Brian Flores system as I would like, because Harrison Smith is just really fucking good at everything and is able to be so multiple. Like you said, I think he's better a little bit deeper. And it limits him a little bit, whereas Flores likes guys who are able to come down into the box on the line, play that big nickel, things like that. He likes to confuse offenses by having players who can do all sorts of different things. And you don't know what they're out there for until the snap happens. Thieneman fits best as more of that deep safety. 2 high, cover 2 type system, great for him. So the fit, I have some questions with as like a first round pick for me, for my Vikings. That being said, I still really do like the player. The athletic traits are crazy. And he very well could work himself into the first round.
Well, listen, man, with what he did at the combine, I'm pretty sure he's gonna go there. Like, the other guy who could go in the first round is right here, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. I've seen him mocked in the first round several times as well.
Yeah, a guy who, oddly enough, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren and Nick Emmanuel, it seems like there's some sort of wordplay there. They have really similar kind of play styles in a lot of ways. I think that McNeil-Warren isn't quite the same guy that Emmanuel was, but after seeing what Emmanuel did in his first year with the Seattle Seahawks, which, by the way, in the pass game, Emmanuel was great in the run game. Great as a blitzer, things like that. In the pass game, he was kind of so-so. He was actually like the most targeted defensive back on that Seattle team. So results may vary going forward on Emmanuel as far as how good he is in the NFL. That being said, everyone's looking for the next Nick Emmanuel, and Emmanuel McNeil-Warren might be the closest thing to that as far as a first round type of caliber talent.
Better in coverage.
He is a little bit better in coverage. He is. He does some weird things. I don't know if you watching the film, watch him with his mouthpiece.
No, I'm not paying attention to his mouth.
Like, he doesn't put his mouthpiece in until the snap happens, and then it looks like he's like, oh shit, every time. Like, it's a fucking thing. Like, where, like, while he's processing the play, he's like trying to fit his fucking mouthpiece in. It's weird. But he does seem to rely a little bit on those athletic skills, and because of that can be a little bit late to react on stuff. But he does have the athletic skills to make up for that. And I would like to see him not have to rely on those athletic skills and have a little bit more anticipation and reading of the defense going forward. That's one of my biggest knocks on McNeil-Warren. But another prospect I do like, who I think can fall later into that first round territory.
Yeah, so this is a long ass safety who plays better closer to the line, but he's awesome in coverage. Understands his run fits and responsibilities, but he did miss a ton of tackles this year. I think part of that, though, is him going for punches. I'd like to think that he can get that number back down to where he was a couple of years ago in terms of his missed tackle rate. And if that happens, this kid's going to be fucking awesome. He just needs some high-level coaching. And this is no knock on Toledo and their coaches. We kind of talked about this a little bit earlier with, like, the NIL process in the system. He's a really good player. Really good players like him don't always necessarily stay at schools like Toledo. So the competition that he's playing against is not as high. It's a smaller school. It's not, even though it's still a Division I school. NIL has really kind of shifted some of that, because with these dudes who go to the Purdue's and Toledo's and wherever, if they ball, they're off in 1 year because they don't lose a year of eligibility. So the one thing you maybe have questions on is he ready to play at the next level? How is he going to understand everything that he needs to understand? I don't know. I don't know the Toledo coaches, but I can tell you that he's got every physical trait that you would want from a fucking safety. He's put good things on tape. He peanut punches like crazy. But what is going to be the max upside? Who knows? I think he could be really, really fucking good, though.
Yeah, like McNeil-Warren, and I look at this definitely from a Vikings lens, fits a lot with what a Josh Metellus does, where he can be multiple all over the field. There's obviously some concerns with the stuff that you brought up. But I feel like, as far as like for my Vikings, he's a little bit of a better fit at that safety position than Thieneman might be. However, taking him at 18, I feel like is a little rich for where I kind of have him slotted in this draft. And that's the thing, is we see this all the time in the NFL. A guy will break out as a rookie, and NFL teams start looking the next draft class and be like, who's that guy? Who's the next version of that guy? And rarely do you ever get the same sort of level of play when you are specifically scouting or hunting for that sort of a player. So I caution against that a little bit with the NFL teams. AJ Haulcy, got anything on this guy?
I do. This guy gets the ball. He hits it. He catches it. He knows where it is pretty much a good amount of the time. Question is he going to be a good enough athlete to get there? The ball skills are on full display in his college tape, so I trust that his instincts will help him with the transition. He's a good tackler, triggers fast in the run game. There's a lot to like when you turn on his tape. Like, this is one of those guys that has not had a lot of people to talk. Like, it hasn't been talked about really a lot. More in that, third round range, probably second round. Maybe you can get in the late second round.
I think he's like, I see him as a lot more like a mid second round pick. This is
okay.
Look, this is a good safety class in general.
It is.
And I'm a fan of Haulcy.
Same. I don't think that he's a bad player. It's just there are so many, like, the three guys that we just talked about before him are like first round guys or potential first round guys, whereas I don't have him in the same range, even though I think he's going to be a pretty goddamn good player. You see the missed tackle numbers. That's been a pretty consistent thing. That's one thing that you worry about, but he's also playing mostly deep safety. So if you're looking for that guy who can be your deep safety, I think he can be really good there. I just don't know that he's going to be a huge help in the run game, but I think he's a good fucking player and would help you in the back end.
What I like about Haulcy is that I feel like he, and we might differ on this a little bit, I feel like he is kind of your true blue do-it-all safety, kind of like a Caleb Downs. He's just not nearly as athletic as him. He's definitely muscled up, but he's a little bit more of like your traditional, what you'd expect from a safety, where he can play deep. He can play up in the box against the run a little bit more. Like, very instinctive, very good at figuring out where the ball is going and snatching it away. He's a guy that I feel like his value is right there in the middle of the second round, potentially up towards the top end of the second round. A guy who doesn't get talked about enough, in my opinion, who I do really like. I don't think that the difference between a Haulcy and Emmanuel McNeil-Warren is that different, but they are two different types of safeties, where a Haulcy is maybe not going to be like your super high-end athletic freak like McNeil-Warren can be,